Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Thursday, July 30th. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. High pressure is starting to re-strengthen across California this morning, and as such, the marine layer has become a little shallower as compared to yesterday morning, though still quite prevalent. Low clouds once again are covering the majority of the coastal areas and are even surging into some of the lower coastal valleys. As is typical this time of year, clouds should clear pretty quickly over the next few hours, and there will be plentiful sunshine across the entire region, along with rising temperatures. As has been the case for the past few weeks, we will continue to be under the influence of a persistent high-pressure dominated pattern as we move into early August. After weakening and shifting eastward due to a Pacific trough nudging into the Pacific Northwest, the high pressure loosened its grip a little bit earlier this week, leading to a little bit of cooling, along with higher humidity and a deeper marine layer. The center will become much stronger and shift closer to Southern California over the next few days, leading to another burst of extreme heat and very low humidity without any marine layer or monsoonal relief. It is expected to weaken again early next week, though still remain quite dominant. Plenty of uncertainty remains in the forecast for the second half of next week, as models are struggling with how the dominant high pressure will evolve. As the high pressure starts to re-strengthen, temperatures across the region will warm up a few degrees today to around 5 to 10 degrees above seasonal averages. Highs in the mid-90s to around 102 will be common across the valleys, 80s to low 90s common closer to the coast and the lower mountains, and around 115 for the low desert. Similar to yesterday, humidity this afternoon will remain mostly in the 10 to 20% range across much of the interior, except probably a bit lower for portions of the desert as the high-pressure center moves closer. Despite shifting closer to California, the positioning of the high continues to be unfavorable for any monsoonal activity, and all areas will remain dry. Things are going to get more concerning as we move into the Friday through the weekend time frame. With high pressure becoming even stronger and shifting even closer to Southern California, temperatures will warm even further for Friday and Saturday. Highs will soar to at least 10 to 15 degrees above seasonal average, with 100 to 108 common across the valleys, 90s closer to the coast and the lower mountains, and 115 to 120 for the low desert. Highs on Sunday will remain similar, except may cool a little bit along the coast. There will also be very little in the way of cooling during the overnight hours, particularly away from the immediate coastline and in the low to mid elevations across the interior. Due to the very hot afternoon temperatures and lack of overnight cooling, the majority of Central and Southern California remain under heat advisories and extreme heat warnings during this time frame. In addition to the extreme heat, the strengthening high pressure over Southern California will lead to very dry conditions away from the coastline. Minimum humidity in the 5 to 15% range will become more widespread across the interior, with more expansive fair to poor overnight recoveries expected. The marine layer will become very shallow to non-existent by the weekend, so humidity across the inland coastal plains will become lower as well, with pretty much no low cloud cover expected. The good news is that no wind concerns are expected, as strong winds are not common under high pressure. However, the combination of hot temperatures and very dry air alongside the critically dry fuels will lead to enhanced fire weather concerns even without much wind. Any new starts will be able to spread very quickly and exhibit plume-dominated fire behavior under these conditions, so be sure to stay alert. As we move into the beginning of next week, the high pressure will weaken a little bit, although there remains plenty of uncertainty as to how the overall pattern will evolve for the rest of the week. Temperatures south and west of the coastal slopes will gradually cool back down early next week as the marine influence becomes more apparent. There will likely be little change for the interior, with triple digits remaining prevalent across the deserts and Central Valley. With a more apparent marine influence, the marine layer will become a little deeper early next week, with a potential return of low clouds to the coastal plains. Since there will be little change for the interior, humidity will remain very low away from the coastal areas. To no surprise, with the increasingly hot and dry weather, all classes of fuels will be on drying trends. Live fuel moistures will be getting closer to critical levels if they are not there already, especially around 4,000 feet and below. ERCs will also be on rapid rising trends, getting towards the 97th percentile or higher across several PSAs, which we have not seen yet this year. All in all, there is increasing confidence that we'll see our most critical burn environment of the year so far as we close out the month of July. The large fire potential will continue to rise as we go through the rest of this week, and we are finally trending above seasonal levels after spending much of the season on the quieter side. Even though we are not concerned about lightning or strong wind, Historically, these very hot and dry patterns have produced some of our most significant fire events. During the hottest and driest days of the period, specifically Friday through Sunday, the forecast continues to indicate high risks for a critical burn environment across a handful of PSAs that are expected to have the best overlap of hot temperatures and low humidity with poor recoveries. These areas include the interior Central Coast, Sierra foothills, and the western and southern mountains, which have demonstrated that live fuel conditions are at or approaching critical levels and capable of contributing strongly to fire spread. As a result, our large fire potential will be at the highest level it has been so far this year. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Friday, July 31st. Have a fantastic day.